Yes, guys, welcome back to SFeatleyTV. We're here for the Premier League Journey review show. I've got Cam from the Mighty Blues podcast. How are you, my friend?
I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm all right. We'll get into that game in a minute. But just quickly run through some comments already. Charlie up the Blues. Yeah, he's buzzing after the Man City results here. We in the and Shearer. Thierry to go. That's definitely what I believe in in my opinion. Well, what better place to start than actually that game itself? So we'll go straight into it. Was you confident going into the game?
You know what? I was and I wasn't. Obviously, Everton have had 3 draws on the bounce prior to this one: Brighton, Palace, and Tottenham, and it seemed like it's a period in the season where everyone just sort of seems a little bit deflated. It always is that way when you've had a little bit of a run of draws. You're sort of thinking, where's the next win going to come from? Where are we next going to get 3 points? And, ultimately we had 7 games to go, obviously 6 games to go in the season now. And I think a lot of Evertonians felt after the Spurs result that, maybe that fight for Europe was a little bit too ahead of us. Maybe teams like West Ham and Chelsea and Tottenham even and Liverpool had a little bit more consistency than Everton did, and that was going to hurt us ultimately in the long run. But in terms of Arsenal as a side, as soon as I seen the injury news, I thought we can definitely get at Arsenal. We can definitely beat Arsenal. I wasn't worried and I wasn't not confident because of the amount of quality Arsenal had. It was just the way in which Everton were playing at the moment and whether Everton would have that grit to go out and get the 3 points. I know ultimately the goal was a goalkeeper mistake, quite a catastrophic goalkeeper mistake, to be fair. But look, I think it's a big win for Everton. It's a historical win for Everton. We haven't beaten Arsenal away in 25 years, haven't done the league double over Arsenal in 30 years. So not only is it a historical win, but it's a massive win in the context of this season. It puts us 3 points behind. I think, well, it put us 3 points behind on Friday night. Liverpool, West Ham, Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea won. Liverpool got a point. So we've got a game in hand and we're still in and around that fight. So for as much as I wasn't confident, that's purely because of the way of which we've been playing at the moment. I think it's a massive, massive win, and I think it could give us some momentum going forward now.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I'm never confident going into any Arsenal game these days. And no surprise. I saw the lineup and I'm like, I was expecting some sort of a weakened team. I wanted to see sort of a weakened team, and it's no disrespect to Everton, but it's like the only sort of thing we've got left this season is the Europa League, and we've got Villarreal on Thursday. So I was expecting a team lineup of, say, like not Partey or Xhaka in the midfield, I think what was the lineup? Let me have a look at this. So yeah, we had Saka. I didn't want to see Saka playing either. Maybe Pepe or not, but there you go. But still, and yeah, it's that sort of lineup that I was expecting, because again, the Europa League is where it's at for us now, and we can only blame us. You can only blame ourselves and the manager in particular for that sort of situation. I'm not, obviously I'm Arteta out. I think he's absolutely no good whatsoever. And I saw during the game, all game, I didn't feel we were going to score.
Yeah,
and a lot of times these days, I'm looking at Arsenal and if you see my watch-alongs, I end up half the time on my phone because it's just so boring. It's sideways, it's backwards, it's sideways, it's backwards, and I'm like, we got rid of Wenger because of this.
Yeah,
and now we're seeing it now with Arteta, and it's just like he's got no ideas, and everything's just too reactive. I mean, the substitutions were made way too late. They should have been made earlier. And as for the goal, I mean, oh my god, it can only happen to us, can it? I mean,
I do. I've watched it.
I mean,
back.
you are the first team to beat a Super League side.
I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I noticed that on Friday night. To be honest, and I still don't think that one of them's been obviously the final yesterday with Tottenham and City. The thing is with that goal is I've watched it back 4 or 5 times and I still don't know what happened. I still can't put my finger on how it managed to go in.
I don't get it. I mean, it's simple enough. Catch it on the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like there's any bobbles on the pitch either. I mean, this is the Emirates, right? We're talking about.
Yeah.
So, just don't. It just seems like anything will go against this these days. I mean, the penalty claim, yeah, it weren't for me. It weren't a penalty, for example, but the offside. That's 2 decisions that I feel they're completely level, and I'm like, how can you justify that's clear and obviously offside? And for me, I would say is that the one thing I'd like to see, and we'll talk about it in the rest of you later, is that there should be like a second line to say like, oh, if you go over this mark, you're definitely gaining an advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, because those margins there, that's no advantage whatsoever. So how can you sit there and go, oh yeah, you're offside because you're gaining an advantage with that little gap? You can't even see it with your naked eye.
Yeah.
So
I think what we've seen in that situation was 2 prime examples of the rule book in the Premier League being shocking. The penalty being given in the first place is shocking because I'm still convinced he barely touches him, if that. And the offside rule is ridiculous. It'll go against everyone this season at least once, and it'll go probably for everyone at least once this season. And this is me issue I have with VAR is I hate when situations like this happen in games, because then you ultimately go onto Twitter or you go onto Instagram or Facebook at the end of it, and everyone's attacking VAR this, VAR that, VAR the other. All this VAR is a computer. It's just a replay which shows officials a slower replay of what has just happened, and it shows them from multiple different angles. VAR is just what I'm sitting in front of, what you're sitting in front of, what everybody else. It's just a computer it's just basically a glorified CCTV
it's not
system.
as well as it's because some people will also say, oh yeah, but they're not checking it. Just because it's not shown on a screen does not mean they're not checking it.
Yeah, it is.
They are checking it.
They check everything. They just don't show it, do they? But for me, it's the rule book. It's the fine margins for offside. It's the fact that any touch is a penalty when that's never a penalty. That doesn't make him go down. I've seen it before multiple times where players are going down and it's never a penalty. For me, it's the referees in this league are incompetent. They're not good enough. And the rule book is ridiculous. And VAR ultimately is just showing that. It's just enhancing the fact that look at how bad these referees are. Look at how bad this rule book is. And the FA or whoever's in charge is happy with that, because everyone just bundles it together and goes, it's VAR. It's VAR's issue. It's VAR. Get rid of VAR. What does getting rid of VAR do? Because unless we get rid of the officials that are officiating it, unless we get rid of some of the ridiculous rules that are behind it, getting rid of VAR does nothing. Absolutely nothing whatsoever. It's the people that are looking at the screens and Stockley Park. It's the people that are on the pitch that are giving. John Moss gave that penalty straight away. Didn't want a second look. It's not. It's not. There's no contact. It's not a penalty. And it's the rule book that says that even if you're a hair offside, you're offside, or if you get touched even by the minimum amount, it's a penalty. It's for me VAR. I think as a football fan, we saw football fans come together with the protests for the Super League, and massive respect to Arsenal. If you're an Arsenal fan watching, if you're a City fan, if you're a United fan, massive respect to all of those different fan groups who come together as fans and protested against that ridiculous, utter, just sheer greed of those 6 billionaires. Respect every Arsenal fan that was outside that stadium, firing fireworks or whatever. But let's come together as a fan base now, as football fans, and let's start putting the blame on who the blame should be put on here, because it's not VAR, because that is just a glorified CCTV system. It's the people that are watching VAR that are the issue, and the rule book behind it, that's the issue. For me, anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, that's well put. I mean, if people do actually want to go look at last week's West View, we had Mark Halsey on the channel, and it'd be good to watch that back and get a sort of referee's perspective, and do forgive us for the internet connection problems during that. But so go and check that out. But you make it very, very true, and I think the protest you mentioned there, I mean, trust me, if I wasn't shielding, I would have been there myself. and I live under 10 miles away. But I mean, just quickly your opinion, of that whole saga last week.
It's just sheer greed, isn't it, mate? It was 6 billionaires who were trying to take football from us, and I think Everton manager Carlo Ancelotti put it perfectly. And I'm not just saying this because he's the Everton manager, but he had his pre-game press conference on Thursday to the game against Arsenal on the Friday, and he hadn't. Obviously, this all happened last Sunday, so a week ago, and Carlo hadn't mentioned it until Thursday's press conference, and he said, "Look, there's nothing." He was basically talking about, because he was asked the question about these billionaires trying to Americanize football and turn it into sort of how it is in America. And he said there's nothing wrong with the way in which the American, sports teams run their sports. There's nothing wrong with that. We all know the Super Bowl is 90% advertisements and 10% of a bit of sport. I've been to New York and I've watched a baseball game, and I was there for 3 hours, and I must have watched 20 minutes of baseball, and the rest of it is people on the pitch dancing, advertisements, this competition, that competition. And Carlo Ancelotti said it perfectly. He said there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not how we do it in Europe. Doesn't mean we're right and they're wrong. That's just not how we do it. And he said, in terms of football, yes, it's about business, but you have to look at the sport and the business, not just the business. And that's what those 6 greedy billionaires were doing. They were looking purely at the business element of it. And it wasn't to do with football. It wasn't to do with the sport. It wasn't to do with the betterment of the fans. It was to do with how much money can we bring in. And to be fair, I think personally it's a wider issue, Steve. I think it's a much wider issue in the sport of football, because I think UEFA don't care about fans or about the sport. I don't think the Premier League particularly care about fans.
Any of them do, to be honest.
They don't. They all care about the money in the pocket, and that's why UEFA coming out and saying this is a spit in the face of all football lovers, but then welcoming Manchester City back with open arms into the semi-final is ridiculous, because that shows they've just gone, we don't really care about the sport or football. We just cared about the fact that we were going to lose money when these teams left. Now that they've all come running back, we're not going to lose money. So there's no issue. Everything's fine. And that shouldn't be how it is, because that ultimately, again, the only people that have been affected by this are the fans that genuinely for 3 or 4 days thought our sport is going to die here. UEFA weren't bothered.
It's not even that. It's me. I was sitting there thinking, I can't support my club for this.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to walk away.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I'd love to go find maybe another team. And me being me, I can't find another team. It's Arsenal, nothing for me. So I'd have to walk away and I'd follow them. But if it came to football content on here, I'd have to pretend like they don't exist.
Yeah.
And that's
sad.
I would never, ever in my life, I mean, you cut me or bleed Arsenal. I've never thought in my life I'd ever have to think that I was just brought up with Arsenal around me. And it's been a major part of my life. So to walk away from it, as much as how bad we are, I still do a watch along every week.
Yeah.
Still do. I mean, even the conference, even if we end up in the Conference League and they go, oh yeah, well, I'm not watching it because it's the Conference League. Me being me, I'll probably end up watching it as a watch along because I love the club. I can't get enough of it. And
that's what's sad, and that's why I respect the fans of those clubs so much. The Chelsea fans for protesting with the Stoke sign outside, Liverpool fans for putting the banners, the Arsenal fans, the United fans, because nobody wanted
especially Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, because they're the 3 main instigators and the 3 biggest clubs in England with the most history in English football. You could say those 3 clubs really built English football to where it was today. Obviously, you've got other clubs, and not denying that they haven't contributed, but in terms of history, they've been there throughout time. So
well, I think something needs to really change now, and the Premier League needs to any billionaire backer, any billionaire owner that wants to come in and take over a Newcastle or a West Ham or whatever. The Premier League needs to really sit down and say, right, not a quiz or a question but whatever, but we're going to talk to you for 10 minutes. I'm going to see how much you know about this sport. And if you're just purely coming in out of your own interest, you're not coming in. Apparently, there was a statement
or do what Germany are doing, which is
do what Germany are doing. Yeah. I don't think they would do what Germany are doing because I think it would lose them too much money. I'd do what Germany were doing 100%, 50+1 everywhere across the board, brilliant. But I think there was a quote from somebody who said that one of those 6 clubs, it was John W. Emery of Liverpool. When he first went to watch Liverpool in Anfield, he sat down next to whoever he was with and said, "Which team are we? What colour do we play in?" I mean, that guy shouldn't be owning a football club. These people shouldn't be owning a football club. If you don't know the sport, if you don't get it, you haven't got the sport's best interest at hand, Go and buy somewhere.
I mean,
Go and
Joe
buy.
Glazer's only just worked out to use the offside rule, for God's sake. I mean,
Exactly.
But
These people shouldn't be buying football clubs.
yeah. News. That Matt Lord did see that EK, Henri, Bergkamp. I bloody hope so. I hope it's not fake. I bloody hope so. If we win against Palace next weekend and we'll beat United at Old Trafford, we officially win the title. About to head off to work, but on rumours of Dan Do, Spotify owner, and 3 of our legends of Arsenal, Vieira, Henri, Bergkamp, launch a takeover bid of the club. Fingers crossed, yeah. But the problem is this guy's an arrogant prick. If Liverpool would jet 3 billion, that means Kroenke thinks we've got 5 billion. So that's because he's stupid. Hello, Steve and Cam. Do you think Everton can get Europe next season?
I do. Look, the fight for Europe's tight. I said before, the win on Friday put us, I think, 3 points behind West Ham, Chelsea, Tottenham. I think Liverpool are still there. So there's 5 or 6 teams fighting for 4 positions. Ultimately, 3 positions. If you want to count the Conference League, it's 4 positions. So it's incredibly tight. And I honestly think the team that has the most consistency will finish in those positions. And I have an issue with Everton and consistency, to be honest. We're not a very consistent team. So I think we can get into Europe. I think we could get into the Champions League. I don't think we will. I think we could finish in the Europa League, but we really need to put some momentum together now and start winning consistent games of football.
Yeah, sorry, can you just put in the kitchen, please?
Oh, you say thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, sir. All right, cool. Sorry, my sister coming in front of me. Big up, Stephen. Stephen, thoughts on those guys buying Arsenal? Oh, please. Like, I'm sorry, Henri would get a fucking knighthood. I would ask Henri, Bergkamp, and all of them to get statues, knighthoods, and God knows what else. Right? Said that they live on the club for free. Right? I swear, did someone? Yeah, the government should enforce the 50. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what the Germans do. The actual German government enforces it as well. So, Stephen, do you think that? Dan Goatee, if he really cared about Arsenal, he would have bought us 2 years ago. So I don't think he's the guy. He might say he likes Arsenal, but it doesn't look, the way he's acting doesn't look like it to me. But beyond the posts, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm just working and on the stream as well. Last night was crazy, the Emery versus Arteta debate.
That was good debate, though. It's a good debate. It's a good show.
It was a polite debate. It was
polite. Yeah. I think it was good. It was good. So everyone who wants to go check that out last night, go check that out. But it was a great debate. And your thoughts on the Everton game before we quickly move on to the others.
We didn't care. We don't care about the Premier League. We are bothered about Europa League. If we win it, that's it. That's what our focus is. The other thing is Leno gifted Everton the 3 points. It could have been at worst a draw, and it should have been a draw, even if we did not score our chances. We had a lot of ball possession. Again, we were not good enough going up front in the final third. But that is obviously because we are missing our main strikers. I don't think Aubameyang would have made much of a difference, but Lacazette definitely. Martinelli was not going to start because of the Europa League. He's going to start in that game, and he's protected some of the players like Odegaard, who just came back from injury, could have started that game if we did not have a midweek knockout fixture against Villarreal. Again, those guys are all going to start against Villarreal. Pepe was also taken off just to protect him for that fixture.
Did you just mention Martinelli's going to start?
Yeah, Martinelli is going to start because Lacazette is not fit.
I beg to differ. I'm sorry. I beg to differ because I've seen it time again. Is that he literally shifted the team around to make sure he does not start.
Why is that, by the way? Because I really like Martinelli. I think he's a really good young player.
I don't know. It must be a personal. I can't. No one could physically tell me, right, that as he's now 100% fit. There were games it was 100% fit, and he's still not playing. He played against Sheffield United, who are relegated. Right, that's the amount of trust you've got in Martinelli, knowing he's beaten beating up Chelsea in their own backyard, beating up Liverpool in their own backyard, right? I mean, what more proof do you want from a kid? Scores a hat-trick in the League Cup and bags goals for fun in the Europa League. So, what more do you want? I mean, the Villarreal side is not a great side. You put Martinelli against Villarreal, Emery will get the shock of his life, right? But then again, he knows Martinelli.
He has decided Martinelli is going to be his first choice striker. So he's not going to replace Lacazette to play Martinelli. On the wings, it's Saka and Pepe who are playing, so they will continue to play. And the only place that Martinelli will now get in, because if Lacazette is not fit as per what are the claims, is the striker's role, the forward. He's not going to play as a winger.
But he plays better as a winger than most of the wingers we've got.
No, but Arteta has decided that Martinelli is the long-term replacement as the striker.
But even then, he's played better as a striker or as a winger, better than Lacazette and most of our wingers.
No, he's not been better than Lacazette. He has more energy than Lacazette, but Lacazette has been giving the goals that we need.
Yeah,
and the
that's the problem, because Martinelli either gets replaced to be on the wing or be replaced to be as a striker for about 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
The other thing
he doesn't get a chance to impress himself.
Martinelli was started twice this season. Both times he started games. After coming back from an injury, he's gotten injured again. So he's being patient with him. There is no need to rush Martinelli. He's only 19 right now, or 20. So he has still around 15 years of football in him, and 7 of those belong to Arsenal, or 6 more. So even if he doesn't extend, so we need to be patient with him. And if next season Aubameyang is not going to be our first choice striker, and probably as some of the fan base is saying, Lacazette will be sold, so Martinelli is going to get way more chances than what he's getting now. The only concern is he not picking up injuries and being fit.
Yeah, the problem is, beyond the post, you keep treating them like this. Those 6 years ain't going to be at Arsenal. I'm telling you now. He'll just go, yeah, all right, bye. Because he'll know he can get to any other team. They'll play him every week, and he'll bag goals for fun. I'm telling you now.
If you don't want him, we'll have him.
You've already taken a Wobie, so no.
I don't think you can hold that against us.
No, we are happy. We are thankful. You paid 40 million for a Bobby.
I know, so surely we should get Martinelli for, I don't know.
Is it? Look, Iwobi, in my opinion, got a lot of stick at Arsenal, and some of the abuse I heard was, I was in the stands. It was not nice. I really wish I could have done something at the time.
He was a good transitional
but I think
player.
The problem is if people are that angry with him, and then me being me, not well enough to put up a fight, goes and starts arguing with him about it. I tried to report it in that anonymous app, but nothing seems to be done. But
his best play, Iwobi's best play came for Nigeria, and the other thing is his best finish was in the Europa League final, which we lost. That was his best goal for me. And the problem is he was a good transitional player, but he was never a good finisher. So his
end product was never there. It was good. It was good at driving, being direct, getting forward, trying to take people on. It's just the final ball or like the shot on goal was just never there.
I always thought that he could probably do something as a box-to-box midfielder, but then even then after that he would have probably have to play a good pass, which he never could or barely could.
We're gonna have to move on. Wolves versus Burnley. How do you let Burnley score 4 goals and Chris Wood score a hat-trick? I have not got the funniest idea. But they did, and to their credit, Sean Dyche actually battered Wolves, even though Wolves dominated possession. I didn't get to see the game. I'm gonna have to see the game on Match of the Day before I do the rest review. But what do you make of that, Cam?
I watched it yesterday, to be honest, and it just seemed like every time you blinked, Burnley had scored, and Chris Wood scoring a 44-minute hat-trick is just a bit mental. I just think Wolves had one of those games, and Everton have had games like this before ourselves, and I'm sure Arsenal have, where you just don't turn up and the opposition does, and ultimately Burnley were very, very, very clinical. I saw some of the goals that they scored. They were actually unlucky to not score before Chris Wood's first. Willy Bolly made a shocking error, and let Chris Wood get through on goal. And then Willy Bolly got back and put in a slide challenge, which was one of the best tackles I've seen all season. And then a couple of minutes later, he makes another header, and this time Chris Wood takes it. Look, I think Chris Wood's a good finisher of a football. I don't think he's the best striker ever, but I think he can finish. He's a goal scorer, and when you give a goal scorer the chances that Wolves give him, he's going to put them away. And ultimately, like I said, probably a bit of a shock for Burnley fans as well, but certainly for Wolves, I think they've had a difficult season. It keeps getting said that they're in this transition season. I don't quite know what they're transitioning from, because it's the same manager, it's near enough the same players, so I'm not really sure what the transition is. I get that they've spent, obviously all of this season without their key striker in Jimenez, who for me is one of the best strikers in the Premier League. I think he's exceptional, and I get that obviously they sold Diego Jota in the summer as well, but they've had a really, really difficult season, Wolves, and I think that result epitomises their season. And for Burnley, it's a great result. It's a great result, and it was a great performance, to be fair, by Burnley. They turned up, and you sort of look at Burnley and you think, if you could perform like that every week, even against the best, the top sides, if you like, you'd I'm not saying you'd win, but you'd put up a fight. But they don't. You associate Burnley with defending and putting 12 men behind the ball and then just sort of sitting off for the entire game and making it difficult. But they didn't. They come out and they played football, and to be fair to them, they were much the better side, and they were money for their win. It was a great performance by Burnley.
Yeah, I mean, when you said about Wolves being in transition, is what I've heard about Arsenal. We've been in transition for about, I don't know, 16 years. 17 years, something like that. Or maybe when you could really say when Stan Kroenke bought the club. So yeah, or first put shares in it. But yeah, thanks David Dean, Mr. Arsenal himself. Mr. Arsenal destroys Arsenal. That's good. That's a good one.
The irony.
The irony on that. But look, yeah, I mean, Burnley, to their credit, right, sees the advantage that Wolves didn't turn up, and made the game their own, and give them every credit for that. It's because it's not often they get a chance like that to really batter a team, and fair play to Sean Dyche. And again, people doubt Burnley most of the time, but still they managed to grind out the wins and do what they need to do in terms of staying up and being safe. And it's never really looked like a team that's ever been under threat. And I think what Sean Dyche does at Burnley with the limited resources he's got, right, is pretty extraordinary. So every credit to him. Santo, I'm not sure. I mean, they are still missing. You can still say they're missing still Raul Jimenez. I think Neto's probably out injured as well. So, but again, 2 wins in 5 is not looking good for Wolves at all. So, but at least they're safe for another season. Hopefully, they can invest in the summer. But Nitish, what do you make of it?
This is exactly why I didn't want to know. Jimenez is gone. Similar to what we have, Aubameyang not firing. If he would have been at Arsenal, he would have been in the same situation, probably the team not firing without the main front man. And the thing is, with Wolves, I predicted at the start of the season they will be finishing below Arsenal. The Jimenez injury just added to that. But you can see, Bargau was one of the guys who said Portugal has a very good team and they will probably win the Euros. And you can see, the point that he used is look at what they're doing at Wolves. But I don't think they have stepped up. They have some quality players, Wolves and Portugal both. And I think, but they need an influx of cash, like maybe say 2-3 good players. Because if Jimenez, who's already, I think, around 30, if he's injured, like he got injured, unfortunately, but if he's not there, they don't know how to play. Adama Traore looks like the Iwobi on steroids. That the biggest tweet that keeps going out. Yeah, Iwobi on steroids, and that's all he is when Jimenez is not around. The only way he got all those assists was putting the ball on Jimenez's head. When Jimenez is not the striker, they don't know where to play the ball, especially him. He just keeps running on the wings, and then he gives the ball away.
So Hamal, Nanda, if you're new in the chat, please Everyone who is new in the chat, please do subscribe, hit the like button, hit the share button, share it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We are 35 away from 1,000, which will mean monetization for this channel for the charity Children's Liver Disease Foundation, which will be absolutely great news. So we can't do that without your help. So please go and subscribe now. Go and share it now to get others to do as well. Go and subscribe to the Mighty Blues podcast as well. Doing great Everton content. Plus, also go and subscribe to Beyond the Post in the Tish's channel. Always doing his best to be Arteta's defense lawyer. Does the panel think Nuno will leave Wolves for Spurs?
Possible. It is possible, and it would be an easy way out for Nuno. To be fair, if Spurs were interested, it would be a very, very easy way out because he's had a difficult season this season. Nuno.
I think Ryan Nesson did a brilliant job last year. I think
yeah. Did you see that stat? That Sky Sports had up comparing him to Pep Guardiola? How many wins he's had and how many trophies he'd won, and it was like, why have you wasted? You've genuinely told one of your employees to make a stat comparing those two managerial careers.
Why are you comparing it? He's only just taken a job.
He's 29. He's just 29.
It's like you're just comparing Arteta to him, and I'm like, he's just taking a damn job. How's he supposed to be good?
It's mad. It's like, I felt like tweeting Sky Sports saying, "Did you not have anything else to say about this game other than, yeah, let's compare this manager who's literally been in the job 10 minutes to one of the most decorated managers of all time."
Can we just take a moment because literally Tottenham to throw all their eggs in this Super League basket. Got rid of Mourinho because let's face it, Mourinho didn't want to take him onto the training pitch, so they sacked him because they wanted the Super League, and then 2 days later it all falls on their ass. How typical of Spurs, and they're now left without a manager. It's we love to see it. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Super League team Spurs have just gone another season without winning a trophy. They brought Mourinho, and I remember.
How did they get an invite?
I know
you've done more than they've done.
I know. I honestly don't know. I feel like they're that intruder at the party, which is just like when you go to a bloody an 18th birthday party and there's always bloody someone who shouldn't be there just hovering around. I really don't understand it. But
it's like one of those who said, "Oh yeah, he's a mate, but he's only mate to one person, and everyone else hates him."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why is he here? He knows him over there. Just don't pay attention to him, and he'll go away. It's mad. I remember watching Tottenham fans when they brought Mourinho in, and every single fan I watched said, "We know that it won't be great football. We know that it won't be entertaining. We know that we might struggle in the league, but he's being brought in to win a trophy, and as long as he wins a trophy, then he's a success." And they sack him 6 days before the final. I get that they're not happy with the league position and whatever, but let him win the trophy and then sack him at the end of the season and pay the extra money. Why are you bringing a manager in to win a trophy? It gets you to a final, and then you sack him.
Daniel Levy here.
I get the feeling they got some other plan because one thing is there, they don't have to pay Mourinho the money if he joins Celtic. The rumors are strong that he's joining Celtic. If he does join Celtic, you don't have to pay the sacking money, and probably they may have spoken to some other manager before they have sacked him because I don't think Ryan Mason is a long-term solution.
No.
Well, of course he's not. Of course he's not.
Do we think Mourinho would join Celtic though? I don't think Mourinho would join Celtic. I don't think he'd go to the Scottish League.
Yeah. Anyway, I will just say this. If you didn't check out last night, I was on Sarcasm City TV, and I was up all night in the end because that was a really good show. And it was doing well, and then like Carefree Lewis G came on, Babs came on. And it became onto a Tottenham slander session. Another fan from Blues Fan TV came on as well. So big ups to them for coming on. This Spotify, I can't trust him. Spotify. Arsenal Challenge League, you need an owner who is like, we want to get these players out. Seriously, it's true. Conky won't leave. Why is because it's better than anything we've got in a minute.
See, the problem is if the Spotify owner has to take contributions from other ownerships, and or other people, other businessmen, how will you expect him to spend money every transfer window? I understand the problem with Kroenke is that he doesn't spend money, but the fact is that he has money in case there is an emergency, like we had to buy a Thomas Partey. But a guy having to borrow money or getting in other investors and them collaborating and spending some money for the club, if in a crisis like we have to spend in this COVID situation, or we have to buy a player and we need to spend around 70-80 million from the owner's pocket, that won't happen. So you need to understand that it can work either way. Getting in an owner who has to collaborate with other businessmen and to put in money and buy the club and then spend every window, or having an owner that doesn't spend and forcing him to spend, but at least he has the money to spend.
Yeah, but Kroenke does have the money to spend. He just doesn't do it. So it's as simple as that. Plus, Kroenke's the wrong way around as well. Kroenke ain't gonna believe in that. And also, why? That you really look, Luca. It's better than these wankers we got in now. I'm sorry, but we got to. I don't care. We've got to get him out somehow. I don't care. Either way. But we move on to Liverpool and their game. They drew 1-1 in the end. They were 1-0 up for most of the game, and it was a Joe Willock equaliser in the dying moments of the game to snatch a draw for Newcastle, which is obviously bad news for Fulham. If we look at the table, I'm sure if we can look at the table as well. But yeah, look at the table. Yeah, Fulham are now 27 points behind Brighton after they lost. They're 7 points behind Brighton, and yeah, it'd take a miracle for them to get out of that now. Do you see anyway? I mean, first of all, what do you think of the Liverpool result, and do you think there's any way back for Fulham from the bottom three?
In terms of the Newcastle result, I was made up, obviously, because I'm an Everton fan and I don't like Liverpool. I think they were robbed with the first goal, to be fair. I honestly don't see how VAR has disallowed it for a handball when it bounces off Alisson and his hands are literally there. I don't get what he's meant to do with his hands. Is he meant to make them disappear? Is he meant to chop them off? So the first one is shocking. It should never been given as a handball. And it was just dead funny because I was actually sitting in the beer garden in the local pub. And all these Liverpool fans had this big cheer of elation when the goal got given as a handball, and they only had 2 more minutes to hold on, and then they got the other end, and I think Joe Willock buries it in the back of the net, and you turn around and you're just seeing so many people with heads in their hands and just shaking their heads. So yeah, I mean, ultimately it's a good result for Everton in terms of our fight for Europe and the league position in the context of the league. Newcastle taking a point away from Liverpool is a good result for Everton. So happy to see that, obviously, for multiple reasons. I think the game was a little bit, certainly for the majority that I watched, was a bit stale, other than the last sort of 2 minutes and maybe the first sort of 5 minutes. I don't think much happened whatsoever. But yeah, in regards to the Fulham and the relegation battle, to be honest, I really, really do think that Fulham will struggle now to stay up. I think Fulham play decent football and they've got some big results. They beat Everton this season at Goodison Park. They beat Liverpool, didn't they? And they've had some big results this season. I just don't think they've got enough quality, to be honest. And I think it's been seen on a couple of times this season that Scott Parker's been let down in the last 5 minutes of games, or he's been let down at times when his club just don't have, or his team just don't have enough quality. I think you've got the right ideas, but he just hasn't got the right players to execute those ideas.
Well, yeah, I think that Doug agrees with that. That handball, and it's just another rule that's just been fucked up by the FA. Big example was that game. You don't take your chances, you deserve to be punished. 22 shots on goal. There's a mad stat going around that we've had 135 shots at Anfield, only 4 goals in 2021 at Anfield. Damn. We won't win league until Kroenke goes anyway. So, well, yeah, that's the point. So we got to get rid of it. Right, you've got to try someone else. So yeah, yeah. I mean, Liverpool need major investment, big time, and will FSG will they want to have FSG around doing it for them? I don't think so, right? Because to be honest, yes, they spent on Van Dijk and then they spent on Alisson, for example, but like the majority of that squad wasn't really bought for a massive amounts of money.
Yeah.
Like Robertson, even Mane and Salah weren't that expensive at the time. So, yeah, so obviously Liverpool, we all know that I think now they're going to be probably Europa League football next season. I don't think they'll get it.
How
don't start.
happy I am.
Are you quick, Goon? Are you mad? Are you really serious? After what these owners have just tried to do, right? They tried to take our football club away, and all its values, its traditions, its standards, right? They want to take it all away for money, and you wonder why I hate him. I hated him before, and now I want his blood. Right? Right? He can burn with his money, mate. I'm done with him. Right?
Fair play. Fair play.
Make it sound like I'm struggling. I'm living on the breadline. Jesus Christ! There's actually people living on the breadline, mate. You may not have noticed. Well, he doesn't notice, but there you go. Because he never comes to this country, does he? Yeah. So I'm just gonna pretend I've never read that. I'm just, Premier League. Yeah. So Sheffield United versus Brighton. Bit too little, too late for Sheffield United now, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But hey, they're still going down with that. Still going down with some sort of pride. But yeah, like I said, it's too little, too late for Sheffield United. But it doesn't help Brighton's cause in terms of staying up above. Like I said, do you still think Brighton though will stay up though?
I see Brighton as in a sort of similar to category to Fulham, maybe with a little bit more quality because obviously they've been in the Premier League for a few years on the bounce now. But I just think, certainly when they played us the other day, how poor we were a couple of weeks ago when we played them away from home. I sort of felt like if Brighton had just even a little bit of quality, they'd have beaten us, but they just don't have that quality. It always seems with Brighton that, again, a team that play nice football may have got some nice combinations, but when it gets to the edge of the box or when it gets to having that striker to put the ball into the back of the net. I think if Brighton had a Chris Wood, let's say, for example, or a striker that could pick the ball up and you know, is just clinical, knows where the goal is, I think they'd be all right, but they just don't seem to have that. And it's very, very clear that they're struggling. I mean, you look at the stats there, I can see 17 shots to 7, only one more on target than Sheffield United had. So in 17 shots, you're having 4 on target. They had the majority of the possession, 3 times as many passes as Sheffield United did. So again, I just think Brighton are another prime example of a team that don't have that quality in the final third. And look, it's they're going to struggle from it. I've just got to say as well, I've actually got a jot because I've got some work on it at 12, so I'm going to have to dive, unfortunately. But I want to say a massive thanks, Steve, for having me on. I've loved coming on. I'll send you the message on Twitter and we'll do another one where I can stay the whole thing, and I've got a couple hours to just sit down and talk. If you haven't subscribed to Steve's channel already, please do subscribe. Brilliant YouTube channel. Fantastic cause that he's doing it for as well. Really sound lad. Looking forward to coming on again within the next couple of weeks or so and talking more about football. Hopefully Everton have won again that weekend and we can talk about a nice Everton win. But massive respect to you as well for what you're doing, standing up against your own, and I can see your name there with #Kroenke Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans, Man United fans, Chelsea fans, City fans. Let's get these billionaires out of these clubs who don't care about us. They don't care about football. They don't care about us as fans. They don't care about the game, the football pyramid. Like Steve said before, the models of the club, the history of the club, the legacy. They don't care about any of it. Let's stand united and get these people out of these football clubs because they don't deserve to be owning them. Steve, sorry, I've got a job, mate. I do apologise. Massive thanks for letting me come on. And I hope to come on within the next couple of next week or so, and we'll talk a lot more. But really do appreciate it, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for coming on, mate. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
And go
Cheers, buddy.
subscribe. Go subscribe to his channel now.
Thank you very much, everyone. Cheers, everyone. Speak to you soon.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers, bud. See you soon.
But yeah, I'll just say for this. I'm happy to jump on one of these. If you could send us a DM, you could join us now if you want to for the last part of it. Send you that. If you DM me at that, then you can I can get you on. But yeah, for the same question to you. Do you say Brighton are going to stay up?
Yeah, they will. They have a difference of 7 points from from Fulham right now. I don't think that can be recovered, and so at the end of the day, I get the feeling that it will be them who will be staying up, and Fulham will be going down. And hopefully, Arsenal can try to target a player like Lookman. I don't mind having him on in our team.
Lookman.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one thing,
Charlie and Dugout, the Dugout channel, they can come on if they want to.
One thing with respect to Newcastle, Joe Willock is doing his bits and pieces and helping them stay up as well. I mean, he's not exactly totally responsible. I think Saint Maximin is more responsible than him, but with respect to their fight against relegation. But if it means that Willock is getting us a evaluation of maybe say 30 million instead of 20 or 35 million, I am happy. Newcastle will try to buy a player which is you can say which gets a good reaction from their fans. I think Joe Willock has done more than Almiron has done this entire season. I think they can definitely look to sign Joe Willock at the end of this season. So I'm hoping that Arsenal can get around somewhere around 30 to 35 million for him.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Wolves, Burnley, Sheffield United, Brighton, Leeds, Man United. Oh, I swear I just saw Bargave in the background there, but there you go. Charlie, I'll put the link in the chat, and the Dugout channel, I'll put the link in the chat if you guys want to join now. If not, Dugout channel, just DM me at some point, and we'll get you on another show. But yeah, we're going to move to, I think it's the final game before the Carabao Cup game, which is Leeds United versus Manchester United. And again, lots of chances by Man United and only had 4 on target compared to Leeds' 6 and 3 on target. And they just didn't click again up front, and they struggled to sort of create most of those shots. You can see only 4 on target, so there weren't really clear-cut chances. So for me, it was just, I don't feel. I feel overall, despite the stats that are saying otherwise, I do feel the draw was fair because they didn't really message. They really didn't. They didn't impress at all. It didn't impress me at all. I mean, I was watching that game and they just didn't look like at any point that they could score. And what did you make of it?
It's the same thing.
But Dugout, that'll be fine, buddy. But like I said, the link's in the chat if you do want to come on. So go on.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing that we did against Everton. They have a midweek game. They have a crucial tie against Roma. They were focused on the game against Roma, and at the end of it all, they didn't do enough. They rested Cavani. They could have started Cavani, who would be doing way more than what Daniel James will do, but they did not want to risk him. They want to use him in midweek. As simple as that.
Yeah. Charlie, what did you make of Man United's performance against Leeds?
I think there was wasteful in front of goal. They could have got a couple, 2 or 3 on Sunday. And yeah, I think they could have ended up getting 3 points.
Do you think there's any chance that Leeds could make a late charge to Europa League?
I'll have a quick look at the table and have a look.
I'll have a look at the table now. They are 9th with 5 points from Everton, who have got a game in hand. So technically, they're 6 points away from Tottenham if Everton won that game. So 2 victories away.
Maybe a late push. You never know, but
I don't think so
it's too
because
little, too late.
yeah, Spurs' main distraction was the League Cup final, and it's done now. So all their focus will now be on the league itself because they have nothing more to play for. They are out of the Europa League. They're out of the League Cup, which was the final, and I don't think they're doing great in the FA Cup as well. So all they have. So I think they can focus on the Europa League spot, and they have an advantage of 2 wins. That is 6 points. If Spurs, if we know history from Spurs, they can bottle it. They always bottle it, but I think this is too much for them to bottle.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got Luke on as well. How are you, my friend?
Hello, Stephen. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Just gonna cover the last game, which is Man City Spurs in the Carabao Cup final.
Yeah.
And my God, like Spurs got battered. They got absolutely battered. There was literally a session of like Spurs bending over and Man City doing it however they wanted.
Yeah,
Right?
but why did Man City only win 1-0? Like literally.
Because they weren't clinical enough.
No, that's the problem with Man City.
And to be fair, that like literally Tottenham played 10 men behind the ball. So for most of the game. But even in the end, in the final, it doesn't really matter as long as you win the game. And yeah, Rich Sports, big up guys. I'm at work, but just checking in to say hi. Charlie, obviously you're buzzing after you've won your cup again.
4 in a row.
4 in a row. So
Yeah, Man City are the Carabao Cup specialists.
Go on then, Charlie. What did you make of it?
It was a footballing lesson by Pep. Let's be honest now. I've got the expected goals here. We had an expected goals of 2.82. Spurs had 0.04. That's all I'll say. That's all I need to say.
But I still think he played players like Sterling. Possibly he was not going to play in the Champions League fixture against PSG. So he's also taken it a bit easy.
That's the thing that the people say about that. They have to focus on the game against PSG as well, which is why they were so relieved probably that they scored in the 82nd minute rather than in the extra time. So it looked like it was going to extra time at one point, and that's the last thing Man City would have wanted, is to play a game in extra time, knowing they got PSG on Wednesday. So yeah, that's the last thing they needed. But
that's why I didn't understand when you said Ryan Mason did a decent job. I was wondering which game you were talking about.
Who, me?
I think it was you or the Everton fan. One of you guys said that Ryan Mason did a decent job for Spurs, but
that's because it's Spurs, and I expect it from them.
No, but this was like a humiliation. They had no control.
That's why it was a decent job.
Oh well.
Luca, what do you make of it?
You know what? I watched the game yesterday, the Manchester City Tottenham game. I think it was a boring game, to be honest. I don't think it wasn't excited until Man City scored their goal. But other than that, City were brilliant yesterday. I thought City didn't have to go into second gear. Tottenham did shit yesterday, didn't do nothing. So Bottlers FC literally didn't have to do anything. So Manchester City, I think they were brilliant. They were in Tottenham's half pretty much the whole game, and then Tottenham had moments as well, but I thought Man City were brilliant yesterday. And one player which I really, really liked yesterday, I thought Phil Foden was brilliant yesterday, in my opinion. People might disagree with me on that, but I think Phil Foden was good yesterday. some of his touches were unbelievable yesterday. Like literally, this guy's going to be a good star in the future. But no, I thought Manchester City were brilliant yesterday. And what I will say is Tottenham bottlers trophy the SFC, mate. And Tottenham will never win a trophy again, mate. So there you go, mate.
Yeah. Tottenham do what they usually do, which is bottle it.
Mate. They bottle it. That's what they're called.
Yeah, they bottle it. Or they bottle it like they do every time.
That's why you can't wait for the North London Banter Show on Friday. So.
But I haven't got a North London Banter Show.
You're not having the North London Banter Show then for this week?
Well, no, he's at work, isn't he?
Oh, is
Stop
it?
that.
Oh.
Yeah, but we can all banter. We can all banter together.
But we can all banter. We can all banter Tottenham throughout the week anyway. We can just banter them all the time. So, like, that's always on play, mate. That's like, no matter where we finish. So yeah, just yeah. I mean, when you sack your manager who's bigger than your club, right? And let's be honest, right? Knowing that you've got him to try and win a trophy and you're playing a final in 5 days, right? You deserve everything you're going to get, right?
Yeah, of course.
Right? At least Mourinho would have put up a fight. I mean, they didn't even put up a fight, right? Harry Kane played as a DM.
Harry Kane disappeared.
No, he played as a DM all game. Did you not notice? He didn't play as a striker. Right? He was playing as a DM. Right? Most of the average the positions, they were buried in their own half.
Yeah, the first half, their average positions, every single player was in their own half. That's all I'll say.
Well, that just says it in a nutshell, right? And I'm sorry, if you're in a cup final, don't care if you're playing Man City, right? You should be doing better than that. So, yeah, unless you're like a championship or side in a cup final against someone like City, you shouldn't be doing that. I think either Brighton or someone would have put up more of a fight. So, yeah, Tottenham just being their usual selves, right? And it's just funny to watch as usual, right? You can always have Tottenham to cheer you up, right? But yeah. So obviously we've got the European journey preview show tomorrow.
Yes, we have.
But I should be having some. Hopefully some guests on for that. But yeah, in your opinion, guys, who's going to get through both semi-finals of the Champions League and the Europa League?
PSG versus Chelsea in the final. And
Okay.
PSG win it.
Okay.
I totally disagree. I think it'll be City v Madrid.
Okay. And Nitish?
Chelsea versus City. City win. Chelsea win.
Okay. I had said City in the finals. I said City to win it, so I have to stick by my predictions. City, Chelsea, probably. City, Real Madrid, and City win it. But Europa League.
Just before that, one thing I want to say: imagine if it is PSG go out and it is two of the clubs that were about to go into the ESL playing the final. UEFA will be going mad.
Yeah. There's a point.
Europa League, Arsenal, Man United, and Man United will beat us in the final.
Villarreal, Man United. United will win in the final.
I want it to be Arsenal, Man United, Arsenal winning, but it's going to be Arsenal versus Roma in the final.
You think Roma will beat Man United?
Man United have semi-final syndrome. If you have noticed, they always lose in the semi-final.
Yeah, but I know United drew 0-0 against Leeds, but United rested quite a few players. But I think Roma are crap, in my opinion. So
I don't think they're that crap. If they were that crap, they wouldn't go through against Ajax.
One-off game, though.
Yeah,
they have made it to the same stage.
Yeah, I would say Villarreal and Man United.
You don't think it will qualify then?
No, we're not beating Emery.
Jeez.
No. No. I mean, we're struggling to beat Fulham for fuck's sake.
You didn't beat Fulham. You drew.
Well, there you go. We're struggling to get a result then. And we couldn't even beat Everton either. So, or even draw against them. So, yeah, Emery will beat us, get to a final, and then Emery wins it. It's got Emery written all over it for me. So Villarreal wins it for me.
If Villarreal and Manchester United play the final, Manchester United will easily beat Villarreal.
Yeah, but I know what Emery's like. I know what Emery's like in the Europa League.
Emery's
Right.
Last time Emery was in a Europa League final, he got battered 4-1. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, but I don't think half of that was his fault, to be honest. I don't think half of that was. I think that was more the attitude of the players. The attitude of the players was disgusting. But yeah, but that's another topic in itself. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up there as usual because I've got to be with DNF1 podcast at 2. The pre-recording their preview for the Portimao Grand Prix or the Portuguese Grand Prix. And obviously we got our preview Friday. Yeah, Friday. For that. Westview it's later this evening. It's 8 p.m, not 6 p.m, because Luke's away at work till late, so it won't be back till 8. So, but it will still be done. And we then have tomorrow. We got a packed day tomorrow. European journey, Villarreal preview.
You got a Villarreal fan yet?
No, I haven't got a Villarreal fan yet. Trust me, I'll let you know if I haven't.
Good.
Why do you need one? Why do you need one? You are supporting Emery in the first place.
We need one.
No, Steven is saying that Emery is anyways going to beat Arteta.
We've got to be professional. We've got to be professional. Yeah.
It'd be nice anyway. But anyway, if we can, we can. If we can't, we can't. But we'll just adapt otherwise. But yeah, we've got that, and then we've got liver awareness show. Where we'll be talking about cancer. Because I lost my father from cancer, and I'm sure many people have been affected by it. So if you have any stories you want to share about that, you're welcome to come on and share them. There's no pressure, but yeah, make sure you share that link out. Go find the link on our channel because the stream's already set up. So go find it, share it, and get people to come on and have their say on it because it's obviously a really important issue. So yeah, go and do that. And yeah, and then after that is a watch along for
You have
Chelsea won good.
You have a Villarreal Arsenal preview as well.
I did. I said that.
Did you?
Yeah, I said that.
He said it.
I said that.
Huh, my bad.
Anyway, but yeah. So that's Pat Tuesday for you, and not to mention the rest of the week as well. But loads of shows coming up, loads of content coming up. So stay tuned for that. But we'll be back at 8 p.m. for Restview. So until then, everyone stay safe, stay well, and we will see you at 8 p.m. tonight. Cheers.